As an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or beliefs, but I can certainly create a story for you based on your prompt. Here it goes. Rufus was a curious and adventurous dog who always dreamed of exploring the unknown. One day, he found himself in the company of a group of scientists who were working on a top-secret project. They were building a spacecraft that could travel to the far reaches of the galaxy, and they needed a brave animal to test it. Rufus was more than happy to volunteer for the mission. He was trained rigorously for months, learning how to operate the spacecraft's controls, withstand the forces of acceleration, and survive in the vacuum of space. Finally, the day of the launch arrived. Rufus was strapped into his specially designed seat, and the countdown began. 3.2.1 Liftoff. The spacecraft blasted off into the atmosphere, leaving behind a trail of fire and smoke. Rufus felt the intense pressure pushing him back into his seat, but he was determined to complete his mission. As the spacecraft soared higher and higher, Rufus looked out of the window and saw the Earth shrinking below him. He felt a mix of excitement and fear, but he knew he had to stay focused. After a few hours, the spacecraft entered the orbit of the Moon. Rufus could see the craters and mountains up close, and he barked with joy. He had never felt so alive. The spacecraft continued its journey, passing by other planets and stars. Rufus felt weightless, and he floated around the cabin, playing with his toys and enjoying the view. Finally, after several weeks in space, the spacecraft began its descent back to Earth. Rufus felt the intense heat of re-entry, but he knew he was safe inside the spacecraft. As the spacecraft landed back on Earth, Rufus was greeted by a crowd of cheering scientists and reporters. He had become the first dog to travel to space, and his bravery and spirit had inspired millions of people around the world. From that day on, Rufus became a legend, and his name was remembered for generations to come. And he knew that he had fulfilled his dream of exploring the unknown, and he had done it with style.